All right. Thank you for joining us again. I'm your host today, Cullen, and this is the Sons of Ares, a Red Rising podcast, where we go chapter by chapter through the books of Pierce Brown's Red Rising saga. Charles is not with me today, and we are going to be back on our regular schedule at the end of this week, where we will have chapter 17 on Friday and then 18 on Monday, I believe. We really appreciate all of you guys listening and following along and following all the social medias and leaving ratings and reviews and getting involved and engaged. It's been really fun to do this in 2025 as we work through Red Rising and now a good way through Golden Sun. And in 2026, we plan to just keep the train rolling. We hope to get through Golden Sun sometime in the spring and then work our way through Morning Star, ideally by the time the fall rolls around. And who knows, maybe we'll have Red God appear somewhere in late 2026 or in 2027. Either way, it doesn't really matter because we're just going to keep going through these chapters and bring you the content that you hopefully have come to know and love. And if you haven't come to know and love it, then, cool. That works too. Today, it's a short episode. It is a fan fiction, so if you're not into that, go ahead and skip and wait until Friday. If you are cool with that, then give a listen and let us know what you think. I've not really written much fan fiction, but in the last couple of months, I've written a few. This is the first one that I wrote, so it's relatively short, and I'm not sure it's the best version of a fan fiction that I've done so far, but I had fun, and it stems from Lorn Arcos is my favorite character, even though he's only on the page for one book. But he haunts the rest of it. He's a mythological figure throughout the entire series. He is kind of a Mark Twain, Winston Churchill type, where there are lots of stories and lots of quotes and aphorisms and lines given to and attributed to him. And we don't really know how many are true and how many are anachronistic or made up or whatever, but I prefer to print the legend, as they say. And so I love Lorn and I love the influence that he exerts, even though he is only in one book. And this particular scene, it was me wondering, why did Lorn pick Darrow to become interested in? We know that Darrow's an incredible battlefield tactician, and he's a good, solid strategist, and he's quite the single combat effective soldier. But there's something more that Lorn sees, and he sees it while watching the holocan in the Institute, and something about Darrow is compelling enough where Lorn actually, spoiler alert here, goes above and beyond and makes Darrow his final student in his particular method of fighting, the Willow way. And why did that happen? What about Darrow jumped out to him? And that got me thinking, and it got me wondering and pondering and imagining. And so I put pen to paper and came up with this idea of Lorn watching the TV or the holocan, much like any of us, with their best friend or, at least a friend, and watching the game and just kind of chatting it up and shooting the shit and reminiscing and giving each other crap. So that's where this kind of stemmed from. As always, we thank Pierce Brown. This is his sandbox. We just are lucky enough to play in it. So we thank him for the world, the characters, and everything in it in between. And as always, a big shout out to him. So without any further ado, here is Lorn watching Darrow. The boy is good, full of sound and fury, but good. In time, he may even be great. I doubt he'll be of Vaj's caliber, but with focus and effort, he may get close. That is, of course, if he survives this gory damn farce of a school they call the Institute. Not one tittle of teaching happens, not one iota of wisdom passed on. It's all experiential lessons in horror and brutality. A warped syllabus based solely on the premise that might makes right in all things. Though there is deep-rooted truth in this, there must be a better way to pass on this particular knowledge without forcing every gold of note to become a puricide. We simply cannot expect to mold the next Cyrus, the next Pericles, the next Charlemagne, if we keep forcing the young to slaughter each other in the name of learning. My present company disagrees. "I was truly rooting for that giant lad, that Titus fellow," says Gorin o Germanicus, a Jupiter drafter and one of my oldest friends. Well, that may well be stretching the truth a bit. More like one of my oldest colleagues in death. Germanicus is a head and a half taller than I, and twice as wide. Burnt gold hair running almost to brass, he has a voice to match his barreled chest. Deep, sonic, and gravelly with just a whisper of a lisp. Jovial and quick to laugh, I've seen the man remove the lower jaw of a Stained, with his bare hands no less. "It's good for the young ones to have someone to put a bit of stick about, I say. Put a bit of jump in their little golden asses. Why, when we were at the Institute, do you recall that mad bastard Gracchi? A leviathan of a lad, muscles from lid to sole, solid as Mons Cerebrus, mean as a viper, too, a real nasty sort, if I do say so myself. A lovely giant of a man, he knew exactly what was what. Put his friends first and his enemies in the ground. And what talent for slaughter! Got a bit carried away every now and again, but who's not guilty of that? He once had these slaves carrying him about on a sedan chair made of bones. It was the damnedest thing I ever saw. Whatever happened to that fellow?" "I killed him," I say. "Ah, yes. He bellows at me, even though he sits not 2 feet from my right. Yes. You put him on his knees and made him fillet a pulse fist, if I recall correctly. Gory damn mess that was, but I suppose the silly bastard had it coming, what with the raping and the butchering and the ossuary transport and all. But still, he'd have likely cut a fine figure on the deck of a dreadnought, no? Damn shame, I say, damn shame." I say he reaped what he sowed. The memories of those days move in the back of my mind, shadows pressing at the walls of their prison, looking for cracks, ways to escape. I've spent a long time catching each and locking them away, too long for some ass to break them free so he can reminisce over the bygone days of our shared misbegotten youth. "You never were much fun, Lorn. Always sulking, always brooding. Lighten up, my good men. These children are the very future of us. And what a future, I say. This Reaper lad and his contemporaries look to be the very second coming of the conquerors themselves. Gory damn beautiful, I say. Why, even that cretinous Augustus has his charms, and that simpering fool Bologna boy is at the very least good with a blade. Maybe you're looking at your next student in that silly pine path of yours." "Willow Way," I tell him, knowing he's well aware of the name of my method of fighting, one that I've used to beat him in countless sparring matches. "Not for me, my goodman. Give me a crow's iron axe, and I'm happy as a clam." He grunts and sits up in his chair. "But not nearly as tight as one at the moment. Where the hell are your gory damn browns? Call one over to pour me some of that lovely Lagavulin, will you, my goodman?" "Pour it yourself, you lazy shite." I hand him the bottle that sits between us. I lean in and turn the volume up on the HC. The Mars boy with the odd name, Darrow is questioning the rapist Titus. Clearly, this Andromedus boy is more than angry. He's scared. As well he should be. I've seen legions form, and I've seen them fold in such minutes. But is that sadness in his eyes? One doesn't see that often in a victor's face. It speaks well of the boy's character, but it will make for a life full of sorrow in a world so full of such mighty injustice. It should frighten and sadden all of us what these children can do to each other.